Welcome to The Deep Dive, the show where we take a stack of fascinating sources and really try to extract the most important nuggets of knowledge and insight, custom-tailored just for you. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the life of truly extraordinary figure. A woman whose wisdom, whose strength, and just unwavering support shaped the very foundations of a global faith. Khadijah, the first wife of Prophet Muhammad. We've gathered a fascinating stack of sources for this deep dive, particularly looking at excerpts from Khadijah, Exemplary Life of the First Believer. Our mission today is to unpack the story of this woman known as at-Tahirah, that means the chaste one. But she was so much more than just a historical figure, wasn't she?
Absolutely, far more.
She was a pioneering businesswoman, a devoted wife, a nurturing mother, and really the steadfast rock at the very, very beginning of this momentous spiritual journey. So what can we really learn from her story today?
Well, it's remarkable, how many people know of her connection to the prophet, but maybe fewer truly grasp the profound impact she actually had. Her story isn't just like a biographical footnote. It's this incredibly powerful testament to character, to conviction, and frankly, to courage. So we'll explore her unique qualities, her absolutely crucial role in the very beginnings of Islam, and maybe understand why her legacy continues to inspire millions, really across generations.
Right, and to truly appreciate Khadijah's monumental impact, I think we need to understand the foundation she was built upon first. Where did she come from? Her story begins deep within the esteemed Quraysh tribe, which was Mecca's leading and most influential clan at the time. She came from honorable parents, and her lineage even met the Prophet's lineage way back in the fourth grandfather. She was brought up with exceptional morals, apparently, and distinguished herself with such, strictness, reason, and decency that the people of her tribe, even before Islam came along, called her at-Tahirah, the chaste woman.
That title alone tells you something significant.
It really does. And her father, Khuwaylid ibn Asad, held a high rank, enjoying great leadership and honor among his people.
That's a powerful lineage, no doubt.
Yeah.
But, beyond her noble birth and this obviously strict upbringing, what really set Khadijah apart in her early life, we see a really significant influence, I think, in her cousin, Waragah ibn Nawfal.
Waragah, yes.
Exactly. He was a deeply knowledgeable man, someone who actually had knowledge of the Tawrah and the Injil, the Torah and the Gospels. This connection, it kind of hints at a profound intellectual curiosity, maybe even a spiritual awareness that was present in Khadijah's life from quite early on. It suggests a mind already open to deeper truths.
That makes sense.
This wasn't just about conforming to societal norms. It seems to point to an innate drive for understanding, for something more.
So that certainly paints a clearer picture. And this early exposure maybe to spiritual knowledge, how do you think that prepared her for, everything that was to come? Now, before her marriage to the Prophet, Khadijah was married twice, right?
That's correct.
Her first marriage, at just 15, was to Abu Halah Hind ibn Zararah at-Taymiyy, and they had two children, Hind and Halah. Then, after his passing, she married Atiq ibn Abid al-Makhzumiyy, and with him she had another daughter, also named Hind, who, interestingly, later embraced Islam.
So by the time she encounters the Prophet, she's already a woman of, considerable experience, both personally and, as we're about to see, professionally, too.
Definitely. But her journey truly takes a unique turn when we look at her professional life. This is where it gets really interesting for the time. After the death of her second husband, Khadijah inherited a vast property, a huge amount of wealth. And unlike many women of her era who might have just, relied on agents or male relatives, she didn't just passively manage her wealth.
No, she was hands-on.
Exactly. She actively engaged in trade, influenced, of course, by the merchant culture of Mecca, but she supervised and administered her business herself. She built this sterling reputation for good morals and commerce, which is key. She hired men to run her trade expeditions, sure, but she was the boss.
And the sources say Allah blessed her wealth, causing it to increase significantly. She wasn't just participating, she was thriving. A successful, respected businesswoman in Mecca, a real power player in her own right.
Absolutely, a force to be reckoned with.
And this business acumen brings us to a really pivotal moment in her biography. A business decision that would literally resonate through history. Khadijah was, by this point, fully informed of Muhammad's reputation, his truthfulness, his trustworthiness, his excellent morals, qualities he'd already demonstrated in trade work with his uncle.
Right, he already had a track record.
Precisely. So she offers him this unique opportunity to manage her trade caravan heading to Syria. And what's particularly insightful, I think, is that she promised to pay him more than she paid anyone else. This wasn't just a shrewd financial calculation.
Sure.
It feels much more like a profound judgment of character, an investment in integrity itself. It's almost like ethical venture capitalism, centuries ahead of its time.
That's an incredible way to put it. A leap of faith in someone's character, backed by serious financial incentive. And the results, well, they were pretty remarkable. The prophet returned from Syria with, get this, double the profit Khadijah had ever achieved before on such a trip.
Double. Just extraordinary.
Extraordinary. But it wasn't just the bottom line, the unprecedented financial gain that impressed her so much. Her agent, or slave boy as the sources put it, Maysara, who accompanied Muhammad on the journey, he reported back not only on the prophet,
And there was more to it.
much more. He talked about Muhammad's truly exceptional character throughout the trip, and he mentioned what he called marvelous scenes.
Like what?
Well, Maysara recounted a rabbi identifying Muhammad as one of the prophets, and he even described seeing a cloud apparently moving to shield Muhammad from the sun during their journey. These kinds of details.
Wow. So not just good business, but signs of something else.
Yeah. Exactly. And Khadijah was so pleased by this combination of integrity and success that she paid him double what she had initially offered. This wasn't just a bonus. It felt like a recognition of something truly extraordinary she was witnessing. And this whole experience, this extraordinary outcome, it led Khadijah to reflect really deeply, both on Maysara's reports and on this wonderful vision she had apparently experienced herself.
The vision of the sun.
That's the one. She saw the sun descending upon her house, filling it with light, a light that then spread out across the entire earth. She woke up from this vision apparently pondering, the sun descends upon my house and its light spreads all over the world from here. What could this mean?
Let's just pause and consider the broader significance here for a moment. Khadijah, a woman of immense wealth and status herself.
Right.
She wasn't swayed by superficial factors like, more wealth or political power when thinking about marriage. She was actively seeking someone of high moral standing, maybe even spiritual depth.
It seems so.
And she confirmed her intuition about that vision with her insightful cousin, Waragah ibn Nawfal. Remember him?
Yes, the knowledgeable one.
He heard her vision and exclaimed, "O cousin, be delighted at the anticipated good affair. If Allah renders your vision true, the light of prophethood will enter your house."
Wow.
I mean, that's quite a confirmation. It demonstrates her profound discernment, her readiness to recognize divine signs. It suggests her own inner compass was already finely tuned,
Definitely. And she didn't just sit back and wait for fate to unfold either. There's another story. Khadijah apparently heard a man at a festival proclaim, "O women of Quraysh, a prophet is about to rise amongst you. Whoever could marry him should do so."
And how did people react?
Well, the sources say other women scoffed or maybe didn't pay attention, but Khadijah listened attentively. She took these words to heart. They seemed to reinforce her conviction, maybe solidifying her belief that Muhammad was indeed special, possibly the awaited prophet, and she aspired to be his wife.
So she took the initiative.
She did. She sent her trusted friend, Nafisa bint Munabi, to subtly sound Muhammad out, to propose the idea. When Nafisa kind of intuitively asked him why he hadn't married yet, Muhammad expressed concern about, not being able to afford it. He didn't have the means.
Which was a valid concern then.
Absolutely. But Nafisa then cleverly offered the prospect of marrying a woman who was, quote, pretty, wealthy, and honorable, revealing it to be Khadijah herself.
A brilliant move by Nafisa.
It really was. And the marriage was concluded pretty swiftly after that. There were these beautiful speeches given by Abu Talib, the prophet's uncle, and by Waragah, Khadijah's cousin, and also her own uncle, Amr ibn Asad. Lots of animals were slaughtered and the meat distributed among the poor, marking it as a really joyous and significant occasion.
At the ages.
At the time, the prophet was 25 and Khadijah was 40. This marriage, it truly was the founding of the first Islamic home. And importantly, it was established not on worldly gain or status, but on righteousness, mutual respect, and this profound shared vision that would soon begin to shape the world.
And a key aspect of this, I think, is Khadijah's foresight and that discernment in choosing her husband. She really embodied this idea of the reasonable, wise woman who weighed matters carefully, with a sound scale. She didn't choose a wealthy man or a man of power just for their status. She could have, presumably.
Absolutely, given her own status.
Instead, she focused intently on Prophet Muhammad's impeccable morals, his character. She already knew his trustworthiness, his truthfulness, his honesty from their business dealings. That was proven. And crucially, she seemed to understand from Maysara's account from the signs that he was supported and protected by Allah, Most High.
So it was a decision based on faith and character.
Exactly. This decision, it really laid down a foundational principle, you could argue, for choosing a spouse based on character and faith, a lesson that's just as relevant today as it was then, isn't it?
It truly is. Now, as a wife, Khadijah was, by all accounts, truly virtuous and exceptional. She created this quiet, happy home for the prophet, a sanctuary where he could find peace and comfort, especially as his mission began. She was his most trusted confidant, listening patiently, attentively to his experiences, especially thinking about those long hours he spent worshiping in solitude, even before the revelations began in earnest.
That must have required incredible patience and understanding.
Immense.
Yeah.
She never frowned at his dedication or his need for isolation. Instead, the sources emphasize how she constantly encouraged him, aided him, consoled him. He would always tell him, apparently with such tenderness, expect good news, for Allah will decree good for you.
Just that reassurance.
That kind of unwavering support and belief, it's truly an ideal for any partnership, isn't it? Especially when you're embarking on something so revolutionary, so challenging.
And this raises a powerful example, I think, of how her profound character manifested beyond just her immediate family. We see her incredible open-handedness, her hospitality. There's this story of when Halima as-Sa'diyah visited.
Ah, his wet nurse from infancy.
Exactly. The prophet himself was apparently overjoyed to see her, hurried to meet her, even spread his own garment for her to sit on a sign of great respect.
A lovely gesture.
But Khadijah, on her part, didn't just observe this reunion. She actively participated in honoring Halima. She gave Halima 40 sheep, a camel loaded with water, and enough provisions for her entire journey back to the desert.
That's incredibly generous.
It really is. It demonstrates her embodying these qualities of a righteous, hospitable, and just incredibly generous wife, extending her kindness and resources to those beloved by her husband, even someone who had served him in his infancy long before Khadijah even knew him. It shows alignment. Partnership.
A true partnership. And she was also a devoted mother, which is another crucial aspect of her life we shouldn't overlook. She bore the prophet 6 children in total, 4 daughters, Zainab, Ruqayya, Kulthum, and Fatima az-Zahra.
Whose birth, interestingly, coincided with that famous Black Stone incident.
That's right. During the rebuilding of the Kaaba, when Muhammad, even before prophethood, very wisely arbitrated that dispute over placing the sacred stone, preventing a potential conflict among the clans.
A sign of his wisdom even then.
Indeed. And besides the 4 daughters, they also had 2 sons, Al-Qasim and Abdullah, but both sadly passed away when they were very young.
A great sorrow for them.
Undoubtedly. And what's striking, especially given their immense wealth, is that Khadijah apparently preferred to do much of the housework herself, rather than relying solely on servants.
Why was that?
The sources suggest she did this deliberately, to prepare her daughters for their future duties, modeling the behavior herself. It highlights the mother's crucial role, in her view, in fostering good character and responsibility in children.
So it wasn't about rejecting wealth, but about prioritizing values and practical skills.
Exactly. Her focus seemed to be on raising well-rounded, virtuous individuals, not necessarily on, luxury or status symbols. Okay, so then we reach this monumental point. When the prophet reached 40 years of age, the light of prophethood, the first revelation, descended upon him. It happened in the cave of Hira, where he often secluded himself for worship. The angel Gabriel suddenly appeared, pressing him hard 3 times, commanding him, read. Iqra.
Overwhelmingly so.
Overwhelmingly so. The prophet, completely terrified, returned home immediately, his heart beating severely, crying out to Khadijah, cover me, cover me.
And this is where Khadijah's character just shines, doesn't it? What's truly profound here is her immediate, unwavering response to this terrifying, world-altering event. As this wise, tender-hearted wife, she didn't hesitate. She showed no fear, no doubt.
What did she say?
She replied with this incredible conviction, never. By Allah, Allah will never cause anything that humiliates you. And then she listed his qualities. You keep good relations with your kith and kin. You help the poor and the destitute. You serve your guests generously, and you assist those afflicted by calamity.
Wow. She instantly framed it through his known character.
Precisely. An-Nawawi, the famous scholar, later called this response an evident proof of Khadijah's reason, understanding, and unswerving heart. Her words were an instant confirmation of his truthfulness, a testament to her deep spiritual insight and her profound understanding of his character. She didn't question the event. She affirmed Muhammad's inherent goodness.
That's incredibly powerful. And she didn't stop there, did she?
No, she acted immediately.
She then, without delay, took him to her cousin Waragah ibn Nawfal, him again, the knowledgeable elder.
The perfect person to consult.
Exactly. And after hearing the prophet's account, Waragah confirmed it. He said it was the same angel, the same name as Gabriel who was sent to Moses. And Waragah even foresaw the future hardship, didn't he?
He did. He foresaw that Muhammad's own people would eventually drive him out, but he pledged his unwavering support if he lived long enough to see it unfold.
So this instant recognition, this immediate belief, this practical support from Khadijah, and then the confirmation from Waragah, it really sets an ideal example, doesn't it? How to stand by someone in their most challenging, most transformative moments.
Absolutely. She wasn't just a believer, she was the very first believer, a testament to her unparalleled intuition and that unwavering faith.
Now, as the prophet began to proclaim the Islamic call publicly, the persecution from the unbelievers in Mecca became severe. It was an incredibly difficult time for the small, nascent community. We even see Abu Lahab, the prophet's own uncle, but a staunch enemy who publicly condemned his message, commanding his two sons to divorce their wives.
And their wives were?
Ruqayya and Kulthum, the prophet's daughters, married to Abu Lahab's sons.
So, using family ties to exert pressure, a cruel tactic.
Incredibly cruel. But Khadijah, again, with her calm strength, she reassured her daughters. She convinced them to trust in Allah's decree to accept the divorce. And later, Ruqayya eventually married Uthman ibn Affan, who was a wealthy, noble companion ultimately, a far better match for her. So Khadijah's counsel proved wise.
Her strength in adversity is remarkable.
It really is, and this intense opposition leads us to an even more extreme measure taken against the prophet and the believers. A crippling 3-year boycott.
Ah, the boycott. Thinking about that period, it must have been absolutely devastating for the early Muslim community. It was declared, 7 years after the Prophet's mission began?
Around then, yes.
And it prohibited everything. Marriage, selling goods, buying goods from the Muslims. It effectively forced them into total isolation in this narrow valley, the Shib Abi Talib, belonging to the Banu Hashim clan who protected the Prophet.
A complete social and economic siege.
Exactly. And Khadijah, despite her age, despite her wealth and status, which could have perhaps exempted her, she chose to go with her husband. She bravely entered this siege.
She endured it all.
She endured it patiently, willingly. Forsaking every kind of comfort, luxury, and prosperity she had known her entire life, she consoled the Prophet with her presence, with her remaining resources, enduring painstaking trials alongside everyone else. This is the ultimate sacrifice, really, for her belief. It shows an unparalleled level of commitment and devotion.
Just unimaginable hardship.
It truly underscores how deep commitment often requires profound personal sacrifice. She lived her faith.
And it was during this incredibly difficult time, this period of immense suffering and deprivation, that Almighty Allah rewarded her directly, personally.
The message from Gabriel.
Yes. The sources recount Gabriel descending with glad tidings specifically for her. Gabriel told the Prophet, "O Allah's messenger, this is Khadijah coming to you. When she reaches you, greet her on behalf of her Lord," meaning Allah, "and on my behalf."
Wow, greetings from Allah and Gabriel.
"And give her the glad tidings of having a house in paradise wherein there will be neither any noise nor any fatigue. No clamor, no hardship, a house of peace."
To receive such a direct divine honor during such profound hardship, it's an incredible testament to her patience, her sacrifice, her status in the eyes of God.
Truly breathtaking. Now, eventually, Almighty Allah destined the end of that brutal siege. After 3 long years, the boycott was lifted. Khadijah returned home with the Prophet and the others, but she was badly ill. The immense strain, the deprivation, it had clearly taken its toll on her, especially at her age.
It must have weakened her terribly.
It seems so. In the 10th year after the Prophet's mission began, which was about 3 years before the crucial immigration to Medina, Khadijah passed away. Her pure spirit, as the texts say, surrendered to her Creator while her loving husband and devoted daughters were embracing her.
A profound loss.
Immense. The Prophet was deeply, deeply grieved. He called that entire year al-Huzn, the year of sorrow, because he had also just lost his uncle and protector, Abu Talib, his main external support just shortly before. And then, to lose Khadijah, his internal support, his first believer.
His rock.
His absolute rock. It was a truly sorrowful and transformative period of loss for him.
And, a key insight here, something that really speaks volumes, is the Prophet's enduring loyalty and immense respect for Khadijah, long after her death. He often mentioned her, he praised her constantly, he honored her family and her friends, sending them gifts, remembering her generosity.
He never forgot her.
Never. There's a famous instance when Aisha, his later wife, who loved him dearly, once expressed maybe a hint of jealousy about his constant remembrance of Khadijah.
Understandable, perhaps, from a human perspective.
Perhaps. But the Prophet's response was definitive. It was powerful. He said, "No, by Allah, he has not given me a better one in her place."
A direct comparison.
Yes, he continued, "For she believed in me when all people disbelieved. She trusted me when people belied me. She consoled me with her money when people dispossessed me, and from her I had children."
That says everything, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It underscores her unparalleled status, her unique and central role in his life and in the very foundation of Islam. He affirmed that her character, her support, her belief at that crucial time was utterly irreplaceable.
And that profound respect, it wasn't just personal. Scholars reflected it too. Imam at-Tahawi, a great historian, called her Sayyidatu Nisa al-Alamin fi zamaniha, the lady, the leader of all women of the world during her lifetime. He described her as wise, venerable, pious, pure, and confirmed her status as one of the inhabitants of paradise.
High praise indeed.
Men's praise. She was, after all, the first wife of the Messenger of Allah, and crucially, he did not marry another woman while she was alive. That alone is a huge token of her immense status in his heart and life.
A unique position.
Absolutely unique. She was the very first person to believe in Allah and his messenger, an honor no one else achieved. She's justly considered a model for women, alongside other great figures like Maryam, Mary, Fatima, her daughter, and Asiya, the wife of Pharaoh.
And there's that interesting interpretation by the scholar As-Suhaili about the house in paradise she was promised.
Right, what was that?
He pointed out that being promised a house, bait, in paradise, wasn't just about a physical dwelling. It also subtly recognized her profound role as the housekeeper, the one who established and maintained the first Muslim home on earth.
Ah, connecting the heavenly reward to her earthly role.
Exactly. She truly laid the foundational support, the home base from which Islam could grow.
So after this deep dive, what does this all mean for us today? What are the key takeaways? Our exploration of Khadijah's life, it really reveals this woman of immense character, incredible resilience, and profound foresight. From her sharp business acumen and her independent spirit, remarkable for her time, to her unwavering loyalty and that deep, immediate faith, she was truly indispensable.
Indispensable is the right word.
She wasn't just a supportive partner to the Prophet, she was the foundational support system, the anchor for a man embarking on a divine mission, a mission that would change the world. And she helped build that foundation with such integrity and conviction.
And this, I think, raises an important question for you, the listener, to consider. Khadijah's story isn't just some piece of ancient history locked away in books. It's a timeless example, isn't it, of how integrity, how courage, how unconditional support can profoundly impact not just a single life or a family, but the entire course of human history.
That ripple effect.
Exactly. She shows us the immense power of believing in someone and perhaps believing in something greater than yourself, even when, maybe especially when, the world around you is hostile and challenging. Her actions, her choices, her faith, they echo through time as this enduring testament to real partnership, to faith in action, and to the quiet, immense power of conviction.
So here's a final thought to leave you with, something to mull over. If Khadijah, known even before Islam as at-Tahirah, the chaste one, was the very first person to embrace this new faith and was chosen by Allah to be greeted directly by Gabriel with specific tidings of paradise, what does that tell us about the divine value placed on character, on conviction, and maybe on companionship, that steadfast support, especially when facing the unknown and trying to build something truly monumental?
It suggests those qualities are not just admired, but perhaps divinely essential.
A powerful thought indeed. Thank you for joining us on The Deep Dive.